Among the priorities of the French national drug strategy, focus is given to tracking, freezing and confiscating the criminal assets obtained from drug trafficking. The aim is twofold. First, to deprive the criminals of their assets and thus to remove organized crime groups' capacity to engage in future crimes and to infiltrate the legal economy. Confiscating criminal assets is considered to be a more effective way of tackling drug trafficking than to solely imprison the criminals. Indeed, prison is not seen as a sufficient deterrent and does not always interrupt or put an end to criminal activities. Going after criminals' money is also a way to deprive them of the prestige crime buys: fancy houses, fast cars, expensive boats, flashy helicopters. Second, seized and confiscated proceeds from drug trafficking can be used to support measures to reduce drug supply and drug demand. Crime must not pay, and the money must get back to society. That is where the French Drugs Fund steps in. The Drugs Fund was created by decision of the Prime Minister in 1995 for the purpose of collecting the proceeds of assets confiscated from drug traffickers. Confiscated proceeds are added throughout the year to the Drugs Fund. At the beginning of the following year, stock is taken and the corresponding funds are allocated to the ministries which participate in the fight against drug trafficking: police, gendarmerie, customs and justice. The Interministerial Mission for Combating Drugs and Addictive Behaviors, MILDECA, which I will present, keeps 10% of the fund in order to support prevention programs. The president of the MILDECA approves the list of projects which is submitted at the beginning of the year by each ministry and publishes an annual report on the actions taken in order to keep Parliament informed. Insofar as the law enforcement services get back part of the criminal assets they help to seize or confiscate, the Drugs Fund mechanism is seen as a tangible incentive to improve confiscation and asset recovery. The amount of the Drugs Fund has significantly increased in the last decade, from 10 million to nearly 50 million per year. Larger resources have thus been made available to finance national anti-drug policy. However, it still is only a tiny percentage of the criminal profits made in France from drug trafficking. The resources from the Drugs Fund are used mainly to buy equipment in order to step up law enforcement capabilities and to improve the judicial response. In a time where criminal networks are dynamic and very capable of taking advantage of society's increased technological advancements, it is crucial to increase law enforcement and judicial authorities' capabilities to dismantle criminal networks, disrupt their business models, and confiscate their profits. As organized crime is almost always transnational, French authorities furthermore use the resources from the Drugs Fund to support, alongside the EU, partnerships with third countries, notably with those on key drug supply routes. This includes enhanced cooperation with Latin America, the Caribbean, West Africa, North Africa, the Middle East, the Western Balkans. The French customs set up in 2022 the first core of the European Ports Alliance. Among the prevention measures supported by the Drugs Fund, I just want to mention the support offered to local authorities to devise and implement comprehensive local action plans to hem demand of drugs, especially by youngsters. The Drugs Fund also funds an experimentation in 3 French cities to fight against the involvement of youngsters in drug trafficking. Crime prevention is indeed an integral part of the response to organized crime. Break the power of organized crime, get the money back to society. There you have the 2 aims of the French Drugs Fund.